off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.
Hello, everybody. We're back for episode 6 of Loki for All Time Always. We are the Kids Wear Crowns. This is on last week's episode. And today, amongst the cool crowned kids, we have... Hey, Chuck! Tell everybody who you are.
I thought that was for me.
Ain't nobody here for you, AJ.
Nobody.
Ain't nobody come to see you, AJ.
No. His mom.
True. Hi, everybody. My name is Jocelyn, aka Virgo J, the letter J 24, on Twitter and Instagram. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited.
We've been trying to get her here forever, so I'm glad she made it for this finale because we've got some things to discuss. Before, though, hey, y'all, we got AJ. Where you been?
Working.
Oh, okay.
Also, some FedEx delivered my gigantic ass computer chair to the wrong place, so I was running around my apartment complex trying to find that earlier.
Did you find it?
Yeah, actually, the person who got it came by my apartment after I walked all over the complex looking for it.
That's what's up, because I wouldn't have.
Nice.
So.
I would have been mug.
Listen, I was highly upset. I'm like, I just paid almost $100 for this shit.
I'm glad you got it, because, yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie.
Yes.
Hey.
I'm here.
He's here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. It sounds like I'm more excited for you to be here than you are.
I mean, look, it's been a long work week, but I mean, I'm here. This episode was good, and I'm happy to talk about it. It may not seem like it, but I am. So I'm here though.
We may be joined later by some special guests, but they'll pop in when they need to. So our intro is motivational, but not as motivational as the one we got from last episode. What did y'all think of it? We got a lot of quotes. Some, very very famous people, some very highly regarded people. What did y'all think of it? Is there anything that stuck out to you?
It creeped the fuck out of me at first because I was like, what is this? Because I had my back turned to the TV and I'm hearing voices. And now I'm like, hey, this ain't the intro I'm used to, but it was pretty cool. Like, I'm glad they added that little wrinkle. It was cool.
Yeah, because it's like people from all over, all different times.
Yeah, I loved it. I think it was a great lead up into showing the totality of the MCU up until now, when we have this one universe, and then we're gonna break into all these multiverses. I think it was a good lead up, and to kind of it was. I was excited. I was like, "Is this a ghost?" Oh no! All right, okay.
Well, it's not a ghost, but I mean, I guess some of them are, because some of them were dearly departed. So we're there, we start, and once we have Sylvie and Loki at the door, and this is like the door to the end. It's like the curtain that Ronnie's kind of been mentioning the whole season, and the only thing that's left there is got to be the person who is over this whole thing. There is hesitation from both Sylvie and Loki, and to me it wasn't that surprising, because it's almost like the movie or the spy film where the person has been looking for this person their whole lives, and now they're face to face with them and they have to decide what they're going to do. It's like, is the moment going to be great? Is it going to be what I expected, or is it going to be anticlimactic? And when they go in, the first thing they see is Miss Minutes. She's always there. She's
scared the F out of me.
She's always there. And she mentions He Who Remains. Now, Ryan has brought him up quite a bit, and his theory is that it could have been Renslayer. So at this point, we still don't know who it is, but it seems like, to me, Miss Minutes was cop and please. So she's sort of like, I mean, y'all can go, or, you can just turn back and he'll just give you everything you want. You don't really have to do this. Now, with that in mind, did y'all think that was another trap, or did you think that she was really, I guess, trying to delay him, trying to stall? What went through your mind when you saw her?
I mean, yeah, obviously, that was stalling and trying to get them to turn back, because I don't trust Miss Minutes. That's such a weird thing to say, because she's like an animated Yeah, but no, I don't.
Can't trust nobody that cheerful, man.
Exactly. So I don't trust Miss Minutes.
Women, so
What'd you say, Josh?
she's a southern white woman.
Exactly.
It's the accent. It's that. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, that's sometimes what it is. She doesn't seem trustworthy, especially since we knew she was working with Renslayer back when she tried to delay Sylvie from the beginning. So it's not like she's giving us a reason to trust her. But my thought was when she's telling them this whole thing about, you can do this and you can blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I'm wondering, is this the same deal that Renslayer got? Because she seemed to be pretty high in command. And I want to add, she is a variant.
I think that's one thing I know from last week. There was, or the couple of weeks past, there was a discussion of whether Renslayer was a variant or not, or was she created by the Timekeepers. And so now we do learn that she is a variant. And I don't know. I don't know if it was a deal, because I feel like she didn't really know how to get there anyway, or she didn't know a lot of what was going on behind the scenes. But now, now she's like, okay, something has to get, like, she's the exact opposite of Mobius now. It's like, okay, yeah, this shit might be completely done, but I got to keep it up, because what else do I have left?
So you think it's more so, it's not necessarily that she is on the side of the Timekeepers. It's just one of those things where she's put so much faith in what she's believed all this time that it's hard for her to let it go.
Well, we found out she's a principal. So it's kind of like the institution of it. Like, you're a principal and you're an administrator, you're protecting the institution. So in her role, she's protecting the institution of time. So it's kind of like it relates into both scenarios.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And while we're talking about making sense, hey, Ron.
Hey, who was 10% right?
Yes, you were 10% right. We were just actually talking about how you thought, or that you had a theory that He Who Remains was Renslayer, but not quite. What did you think about the reveal? Well, we haven't gotten there yet. We're just trying to say, what do you think about Renslayer, period, at this point?
I'm glad we're getting a season 2 so we can explore that plot line. I feel like trying to wrap that plot line up and everything that they did with the exposition they did would have been a little too much. So I like the way that they sort of left her as kind of the cliffhanger.
Speaking of exhibition, hey, Jonathan, Ronnie, when you saw Jonathan Majors, aside from him not being shirtless,
you just gonna change the name, Ronnie?
Yeah, I mean, I have to.
I almost did that. I almost did that, but I felt like it was time. And here you come. See, I'll come back and the clever names come.
Well, curly haired Loki was here last week, so we're keeping your tradition alive.
Well, initially he was with the last black man.
Yeah, the last black man stuck.
That was actually pretty clever. The last black man in San Francisco. That was clever.
Yeah. Shouts to Jonathan Majors.
They always got to steal my shine when I come in with a clever name.
Oh, whatever.
It is what it is.
Back to Ronnie. What did you think when you saw Jonathan? Or sorry, He Who Remains?
So I've been so devastated by the MCU, pulling the football from under my foot, that I wasn't expecting to see Jonathan Majors. Like, I knew he was announced. Well, they were kind of iffy about it. Like, oh, there's speculation about him being cast as Kang. So I was like, oh, he's going to come much later, like Quantumania. So I didn't expect to see him in this episode. So it was a good feeling, because I can't remember the last time like I've been shocked by something that happened in the MCU, because pretty much like all the beats are the same, like it's rise then fall then climax, and then all the beats are the same. So to see him like in this episode in a TV show, like it's like it was pretty major, because it sets up the implications of this, sets up like just the rest of the universe. Like it's really big. So seeing him in this episode was really cool. I thought that was cool that they added him to this show. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I want to mention, you actually said that you didn't think we were getting him, right? Well, you said we weren't getting Kang. So does that fit though? Because
no, I wasn't when it,
no?
Because technically we didn't get Kang. Yeah, we got a version of like Nathaniel Richards, but I wasn't expecting to see Jonathan Majors at all. That's what I'm saying. I thought like we already got like our on the nose Kang reference with the tower and also with the colors. So I wasn't expecting to actually see him, but when I did, I was like, okay, y'all went for it. I respect that.
Yeah,
How about you, AJ?
I'm glad we got here because I can get my little spiel off. What is that noise?
Okay, it's gone now.
So I'm with Ronnie. I thought we'd get a statue of him at the end, and then like that would be it. I knew that they were gonna show him, but I wasn't expecting to see him. Now, what I was right about.
Here we go. Buckle up.
This is what I'm here for. What I was right about.
Buckle up.
No. What I was right about is, once again, these are all a vehicle to introduce the Young Avengers. We got our on the nose reference with Kid Loki, and we got our second one at the end of this where they said more Kang variants will come. Famous Kang variant in the Young Avengers is Iron Lad. That doesn't mean he's coming, but they did set him up. Here's the thing that I thought about for as far as an implication goes, and Jock, we kind of I think me, you, and Shubes were talking about this after Endgame came out, which was the discrepancy between the writers and the directors of Endgame about whether or not Steve Rogers was in the prime timeline. This kind of proves he was in the prime timeline.
Of course, yeah. And their whole feel about the time stuff, it didn't make sense. It made sense that he went back and he was always there.
Right, because if he had gone back to somewhere he wasn't supposed to go, the TVA would have clipped him.
Exactly.
And even if Loki takes place, like let's say Loki takes place between the time he drops the last stone off and stays, and then Loki takes out he who remains, or Sylvie takes out he who remains, it still doesn't make sense that he would be able to get back over to this timeline, because the entire plot, well, one of the biggest plot lines of Doctor Strange Part 2 is the fact that they need Miss America because she can punch holes into other timelines. Like, you wouldn't need her if you could just use Pym particles. So either way, it kind of proves that point is like he was here the entire time. He was where he was supposed to be the entire time. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to see him just because Marvel doesn't do that, right? Like, they don't waste big reveals on, and Ronnie's right, it's a technicality. They revealed him, but they didn't reveal him. They revealed Nathaniel Richards. They didn't reveal Kang the Conqueror.
So I guess this is a comic question, but is Nathaniel, was that variant of Nathaniel ever called Kang, or is it the other variants of him that was called Kang?
I mean, they're all, so he has like mad different names. There's a Lourdes. He has an Egyptian persona that exists the same time as Apocalypse in ancient Egypt. Like, he has mad different personas, but Kang is the common name for Nathaniel Richards, who is
for all of them, or just that? Okay.
Yeah, if you say like Kang, you're pretty much referencing Nathaniel Richards.
Okay, because all the Lokis, and then Sylvie's like, I don't want to be Loki. My name's Sylvie because Loki's swag. You know, I didn't know there was a difference.
Nah. I mean, they're basically, colloquially, they're all Kang. Like, they get different names. Like, again, Iron Lad doesn't like being called Kang because, like, the whole reason he comes back to form the Young Avengers is because he finds out what his adult self does. And he's like, I'm not evil. I would never do that. So he goes back in time and forms the Young Avengers. So that's, like, his entire reasoning for doing this. But he's still Kang. They all Kang. They all Martin Luther King. That's all Eddie Kane Jr. Like, that's who they are. It's they all Midwest Kangs. They all underground Kangs. It's all Kang. But that
also. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say, let me get this in, because I, like, even before I knew Jonathan Majors was going to be Kang, like, I tweeted, like, matter of fact, I feel like I tweeted this from my old account. Like, that's how old it is. I was like, just because how Marvel is moving currently, like, people need to prepare for a Black Reed Richards, and I'm gonna love to see, like, the meltdown of, like, just white America to see a Black Reed Richards, because this confirms. I mean, this confirms,
or Black Dr. Doom, because he is a descendant of one or both. Mm-hmm. They never confirm which one it is. He's a descendant of either or Doom and Richards. So they never explicitly confirmed it. But as soon as they cast Majors, I basically said, yeah, we're getting a black Reed Richards or a black Sue Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Or a black
so basically what you're saying is for the next 50 years, Marvel just got tons of storylines and connections with right now. Like they basically blew up the universe and
yes. I think number one, this is how they're gonna get. I mean, one, it sets up the next slate of movies because the multiverse is going to be in Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, maybe Thor, and Ant-Man. So you're gonna get multiverse in all of those. I doubt they revisit any of those Fantastic Four movies because Marvel hated the fact that Fox refused to give those back to them. So I doubt we'll see anything involving those Fox Fantastic Four movies. But between the stuff that Hugh Jackman's been posting, the mutants are coming and it's going to be through the multiverse.
The mutants are coming. I'm excited about that. So we see that he's there and we take a break and go back to the TVA where we finally get our confrontation between Renslayer and Mobius. Did that go how y'all expected, or were you expecting something different? Anybody can jump in.
That's about what I expected.
Yeah, same.
Like when we got the reveal of Jonathan Majors, I just kind of felt like, okay, we're probably not going to get everything solved about Renslayer. I didn't even think we were going to get them going in time to show where she was from. But, you know, I just kind of, at that point, she kind of became C-level story because we know that this is not Kang, right? Am I echoing?
You're fine.
We know that this is not Kang. It's a version of Kang. It's Immortus, and they pretty much merged Immortus and He Who Remains and did away with the Timekeepers. So my thought was that we were going to just sort of have this open-ended thing on Renslayer. We were going to focus on the whole exposition and Kang, and we would focus on everything else later. And that somehow Renslayer would come back being around to being Kang's partner down the line. And now I see how they're going to tie that together with, you know, which we'll talk about at the end with Miss Minutes and everything of that nature. But I feel like that's all we can really expect from her out of this kind of finale when it's all about setting up season 2 and the next phase.
Ryan, you just going to change your name too?
Yes.
Okay, so
is anybody going to do Ving Rhames or Ving Rhames?
No,
you don't get one of those in here?
We're not. Now that is what I expected to see as well. There seems to be though some sort of remorse from her behalf, even though she said the whole "I knew you would make it out alive" and all this stuff. I believe her, but I still think there was some part of her that does understand that he's hurt because they have eons of friendship or whatever it is they have. The funny part though is we're back with Kang, He Who Remains and Loki's, and you can see that this variant of Kang is a pretty funny guy because she tries to hit him and he's like swing and a miss, which was hilarious to me. Just want to add, Jonathan Majors did an excellent job. Like he just did. I thought his acting was superb, even though he wasn't shirtless. We'll let it ride because he did such a good job. Now, he explains to us that he has seen it all. He knows it all.
I wish y'all could see how me and Ronnie are living.
He is an omnipotent being, right? He knows it all.
He had that nice little smile with those lips. That was okay, though.
I was trying to comment on his acting. Like,
you know what I mean?
He played,
but the acting came from the full lips. The speech came from...
It's an entire ensemble, everything together.
It's an experience, you know?
It's like Disney World. Just a immersion.
Oh, God, no.
All around good time.
Y'all are ridiculous.
I gotta feel
hey, Courtney.
I gotta fill in for Court with this thirst trap.
Y'all spoke her up. Y'all started thirsting.
I'm in a row because I'm so good. So.
And Court appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, this is perfect because we were just thirsting after Jonathan, and you
perfect
just
timing for me. Yes, I'm an expert on this matter.
Hey.
All right, so what we were saying is now that we've given the proper appreciation for Jonathan. Renslayer was like,
he didn't have a shirt off though. That was
I know that's the only
I was
so
upset.
Only critique I have.
Y'all are ridiculous. I just want y'all to know.
Honestly, that keeps the episodes from being 10 out of 10. That keeps the episodes from being 10 out of 10.
I love the synergy of the minds.
It could have been.
Courtney.
9 out of 5. It could have been a
perfect episode. It could have been a perfect, but now it's not.
That's all we're saying. He was this far from. We were one shirt away from perfection.
Court,
he didn't have to have a shirt under the robe.
Court, what'd you drink at dinner?
That's not important. That's neither here nor there. Right?
No, it was important because
it's not, because she still say the same thing. We're gonna focus
exactly.
Back to where we're going now. We'll go to Renslayer then, since we'll come back to Jonathan. But Renslayer is spiraling at this point. She's like freaking out and she's upset and she's angry, and it seems like she's directing it towards Mobius. But we all know it's misdirected anger because she's just mad that she has been bamboozled, run amok, led astray, all of these things. And in the meantime,
she's been
you know what I'm saying? There she is. Now B-15 is going, and she has found another squadron, and they have taken them back to Renslayer's past life. This is what they're going to use to, I guess, pretty much make everybody understand that they are indeed variants and that it's not a ruse, because she can't enchant them. I think it's a good idea because I can't think of any other way to make them do it without Sylvie. What y'all think? Do you think it's going to work? Or it doesn't matter even?
I thought it was a good way because they would have never, just like everybody else, they would have never believed they were variants until they were shown they were variants.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to see multiple Renslayers, it's like, come on, Renslayer, what? Renslayer?
Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing here? Get out of my office.
Why is your hair down? Why aren't you looking like a regular judge? Yeah. So that was cool to see. Now, we've gotten Renslayer, and she's at this point gone into somewhere from her temp pad and left Mobius where he is. He's safe though, thankfully. And we're back with Kang, also known as a ruler, also known as a conqueror, better known as he who remains, an overall jerk. These are his words, not mine. We hear all of this, and Kang gives us, in Ronnie's favorite tool, a whole lot of exposition. Now, I know you hate it. Ronnie. But what did you think about this in particular?
I mean, if you work in exposition in a creative way, I don't mind. And this was done well. So if you say like, oh, what happened here? Oh, let me tell you what happened. Here's the story. Yada, yada, yada. But no, like it fits into the story. It was pretty seamless. It wasn't like, it didn't like throw the dialogue off. So the way they worked it in was cool. I don't mind that.
Oh, the Criterion Collection hasn't completely rotted your brain, I see.
Okay.
Criterion Ron.
It was also necessary because
and also, like, Jonathan Major's acting was just so.
It fitted with his personality of the character, like the way that he described it. It was like, okay,
it's almost more dramatic than Loki. Even like, I just love the theatrics. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get.
Well, this is the thing. He was completely unhinged, and that's what I loved about his character.
Because he's isolated.
I'm the only one that heard that.
You're the only one that heard that.
I'm the only one that heard
delayed. It was delayed. I heard.
What her what?
Court, I would get conquered.
I mean,
I can get conquered. Hit me up. I'm here any day, every day.
For all time.
I would be the same. That's where Renslayer went.
For the conquering.
That's where.
I mean, it makes perfect sense why Renslayer would be like, fine, whatever you say. Just saying.
Just saying. But I really don't think she knows. She knows something's there, but I don't think that she like knows.
I wonder what
I think it makes her upset that all these people know more than she knows.
And you be getting on me and Ronnie when we thirst over
I'm
women.
just saying, I would like to know.
Ronnie, do you want to thirst over someone that went to Ohio State?
Huh?
She went to Ohio State. Did you not see her degree?
Who it's
in the background.
That's right. Because the scene was in Ohio.
You paused it and look because I've only seen this episode once, so that's the reason I was asking. Because I was like, I just saw a degree on the wall.
We don't know what Ryan's doing, but it's fine. Okay, so after we've talked about, Kang has pretty much just told us there are a bunch of me. It's a whole bunch of Kangs, and as the name says, I am the one who remains. Right.
That's fine.
This is where we get into the cursing part of the episode.
I'd have been like, let me kill you right now.
This is where we are. So Kang, the one we're seeing, is pretty much the baddest bitch, right? He's like, this is what's going to happen. My timeline is the one that remains, so it must be the best one, right? I'm going to create this TVA. This is how it's going to go. Now, what he said and what I want each of you to actually answer with a which one would you rather have? We'll go around. He said you have stifling order or cataclysmic chaos. You have to pick. Ronnie, you first. Which one?
I mean, I guess since I want more content, it would have to be chaos because, I mean, yeah. I mean, it ends here if we don't have that.
All right, AJ.
Oh, I'm all about chaos, baby.
Of course you are. Ryan, you want stifling order or cataclysmic chaos?
I am also an agent of chaos in every element.
What about you, Jack?
I'm a Virgo, so I want order. Like I need to know what's gonna happen. Okay.
All right, Courtney.
I'm an Aries, so chaos, but no, also multiple K. Yes, but no. I like on an existential level. On an existential level, like it seems bad, but also you need to let people do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to add because I'm late. I just like how what I thought was what happened, but it was the opposite. Like I thought it was like Kang trying to ensure that he exists, but it was the opposite of that.
It was.
That there was only
one. He was
one.
actually trying not to. Yeah. That's a very good point. I think I'm with Jock. I am also not by any, I guess coincidence a Virgo, and I want the chaos. I mean, I want the order, but I'm also all about letting people make their own choices. But what does that really mean? Right? Like what does it really mean?
Didn't they have a conversation about free will?
Yeah, like what do we
like? Is it really free will?
What is free will?
What is free will?
Is it real? Is it all the rules?
Even the Loki and Sylvie going there was planned.
Right, like he literally had. But this isn't the first time that's happened. Right, because the first episode, remember Loki got there. He said, sign this and say this is every word you've ever said, right? And every time Loki said something else, it printed out. Now that could just be a situation where it's saying they're just keeping the record in real time. What is it? Is it?
I think it's busy work.
Is it?
Like everybody has a role. So as long as the worker bees have their role, everything flows.
That's what he said. If you keep this dogma and this kind of bureaucracy, it works. So.
Right. So they ask him, like, why then? If you are the god of this universe, because for all intents and purposes, he is the omnipotent one. He is the all powerful. He knows all. He sees all. He is by no other name God. They're like, why on earth would you not want to be God still? And I don't know what that is. Sorry, y'all. If you hear it, we're sorry. Having some technical whatsoever. But everybody can mute. I don't know. If you are,
I didn't hear anything. That's reason I was like, oh.
If you are the god of the universe, why would you want to be anything else? He literally looked exasperated, like exhausted, and he was like, I knew he was about to say, "I am tired," because he looked tired. He really had a just a face of, please just take it. I don't want to do it anymore. I am exhausted. And I believe him. Now, the problem with that though is what happens when the next one gets tired? Do they just do it over? Do they find somebody else?
He says something that kind of alludes to that. It's a loop.
Yeah, it's always gonna be a loop, yeah.
Yeah, because I said before, I think on Twitter about us being in a Jeremy Bear meme. And that's from The Good Place. That's how they describe, I guess, time where they were. And I don't know, I feel like because they said that he was in the 31st century or something like that. And he went back and looped all the universes and stuff, to one timeline. So it's like, how long has he actually he's been there forever, but not at all, because everything is happening at the same time.
It's like a Dr. Manhattan situation, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm all things at once, but I'm still very much tired because the one that's at the end of it is still
is me.
The one that's been there. Yeah. So he kind of, like you said, he was like, I'm older. I'm much older than I look. And he just looked exhausted. Now, at this point, Loki and Sylvie have to make a decision. And they have their, I guess, impasse. Because to me, I thought it was done well. Because I felt like I knew what was going to happen. But the good thing about Loki in general, the Lokis all about him, you never know. And you always know not to trust them. And I think that's like one of the best quotes I think I've heard from the whole thing, because when he and Sylvie were having their thing, it's like, well, why is it? What's happening? And he's like, because you don't trust me and I'm not worthy of you. I'm not worthy of your trust, or I can't be trusted. I'm like, well, that's exactly what it is. It's just a, catch-22 every time with them. And I also think the offer that Kane gave them is the same thing, because like he said, it's going to loop either way. Whether you kill me, if you don't, we're either going to go through this whole thing. Eventually somebody's going to find them and it's going to go all over again. Or you can just kill me and we can just find out what I'm telling you, which is going to be like, I'm the baddest one, but that doesn't mean there weren't bad ones before me. So it's just going to be like that whole planet of Omni-Men. That's what they're about to get.
No. The thing is, he's the best one. He's the good one.
He's the best. Yeah.
Speaking.
He's probably like the nicest, whatever that's supposed to mean, possible.
Yeah.
So
that's the nicest version is an unhinged man at the end of time.
So the timekeepers depicted other versions of him that he defeated, because
that was just a lie.
I think there was an illusion that he was like the fourth one, because there was like a broken statue, but that's it. But I think that's just made up, just like to get people to believe something.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked, because he talked about finding the other multiverses, and he talked about collaborating and how he worked with other people in order to do that. So that's the reason I asked. I like, were the other timekeepers just other variants of him?
Well,
in this MCU canon, not like.
From my understanding, he worked initially with the other versions of himself to keep everybody cool. And then once he realized that wasn't going to work and he had to pretty much eat them all so that it could be one, he just created timekeepers. Just plucked them out and just was like, this is how it has to be. Because I can do it, but I'm tired. I'm going to let y'all do it. And it's just gonna keep this in order. So it's almost like an
illusion, like a story based on what actually happened. So it's not really what the timekeepers are in the other Kanes, but it's just like a story that's built on the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like Quantum Highlander. There can only be one.
One. Like that's for real. That's it. Because the ego.
There can only be one.
Yeah. The ego won't allow for there not to be one, because they have to know who's superior. Now. Sylvie, again, I think as tired as Kang is, or He That Remains, Sylvie is just as tired, and you can see it. And I think there is a part of her who wanted to believe him, but she's like Beatrix Kiddo. She has one goal, and she's at it, and there's nothing going to stop it. And I knew there was nothing that's going to stop it. And although I really wanted her and Loki to connect and be happy, they got him some sugar. But as soon as that embrace ended, I said, she's going to kill him. Like she's totally going to kill him. There was no doubt in my mind whatsoever that she was going to kill him.
There's no way.
Go ahead, Court. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and part of me, and like I think everything was designed. I think the reason, and I think Renslayer knew this. The reason why she was plucked is for this exact purpose, because if he knew that if he was gonna have her whole upbringing be just going from apocalypse to apocalypse, traumatizing her, it would cause this issue between the two Lokis. It was absolutely done on purpose.
Yeah. So, is Loki kissing himself like a very twisted version of like masturbation?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
because
very-
That's a whole new
Like,
meaning to
what
go
is it
fuck yourself.
considered? Like, what is it considered? Is this like
It's
some
not
Game
in-
of Thrones shit? Like,
It's not incest because
it's not incest because they're
No.
not
Yeah, no,
siblings.
yourself.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
they're
what
technically
what
two
AJ said.
versions. It's not like they're like simply they're two versions from two different dimensions. So it's technically
But it's not eight. But it's not eight. Like what it's like what AJ said is like kind of like masturbation.
It's like a
they're not
twisted version of
siblings.
masturbation.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And I don't know. I don't know if I saw the female version of myself from another timeline that I'd be attracted because.
But the thing is, it works for Loki and who Loki is.
Yeah, because Loki's
but people are like, I don't believe the romance. I'm like, oh, it's believable because of who
because
Loki
he's a
is.
narcissist.
Yeah, if you're a narcissist, of course you'll fall in love with yourself. That is the whole point. That is the lore. That is the story of Narcissus.
Yeah, if you're a
Okay, I'm probably a
narcissist,
narcissist.
that would be.
You are a narcissist. I don't know. Narcissists are like are.
I don't know. The
very
female version would be
borderline
probably fine as hell.
personality disorders.
Yeah. Ryan's a narcissist.
Confidence and narcissism are two
Ryan
different
would
things.
definitely be trying to clap his own.
Yeah.
female
So
self's cheeks.
multiverse, baby. We got the multiverse now. That's where we're at.
You wild.
Sylvie does the thing. Loki goes back to the TVA. Is that where he went? Back to TVA?
Somebody's TVA. Somebody's TVA.
I wouldn't like the male version of myself because it would be a white man. So no.
There you go. Okay.
Well, yeah, Loki went to the somebody's TVA.
Yeah, somebody's TVA.
Somebody.
And Sylvie's done. She has completed her quest. She's done. She's got what she's done. And now her idea, her plan to give everyone free will, there it is. So we see all of these branches going off. And I know everybody's like, Doctor Strange is going to be pissed. Right? That's where it's going to go. So with
Right,
that
just
said,
imagine the amount of stress he's under right now.
he's going to be like, you know how he was sitting there going crazy when he was trying to see that one? Yeah, he's probably like, what have y'all done? Now, with that, the episode ends with Loki being at somebody's TVA. He's talking to B-15 and Mobius, who I think at the time is our B-15 and Mobius.
Mm-hmm.
But we look up and see the Kang statue that AJ mentioned that he thought we'd see. We actually do see it. And Mobius and B-15 have no idea who Loki is. So he's been transported somewhere else. Not the timeline that I guess is there still a sacred timeline?
No.
So it's gone.
What you have now is basically Earth. What is it? 1606 or 1616, Ronnie?
Yeah, 616.
Yeah, 616. You basically have Earth 616.
I like how we got to see the timelines like in the background actually start to branch out, and it's like actual chaos, and it became more of a web than it branches.
Which
that was neat.
Spider-Man.
Oh. Okay. So now
not one.
I spoke to someone today who is heavy in the comics. Now he said,
we didn't talk today.
Not you, somebody else. And he says that although we're all excited about Fantastic Four, which we're going to get, obviously we're going to get because Nathaniel, but he says that because AJ, I did bring you up because I said my friend AJ is saying that this is the gateway for the Young Avengers. He said he wished that it had been because Iron Lad is Kang in some versions, right?
Mm-hmm.
In all versions. He was saying that he still wishes, because I was like, does this mean that Kang is the big bad? He's saying that he doesn't think so. He hopes that the big bad overarching nemesis is Doom, and they think that it has been Doom the whole time. And then the whole Iron Lad and all of that comes from it, and that Kang and Iron Lad, all of that will link up as a direct reference to them.
So I think that's actually a really good theory. My guess would be Kang is going to start it, and then Doom is going to finish it. Because the thing with Dr. Doom, if you don't know, Dr. Doom is obsessed with ruling the world because he's seen every possible alternate future, and every one ends with Earth and humanity being destroyed, except the ones where he rules the world. So Doom is essentially like, nah, I got to be evil because y'all gonna fuck me. So kind of the same way Kang is. So
in his defense,
he's he's right. I mean,
humans kind of suck.
2016. Yeah. So this is probably Doom is not that he's been cast yet, but I could very easily see Doom sitting somewhere in his castle in Latveria, smiling at the events that just transpired because he calculated this somewhere, and because he's the smartest person in Marvel Comics, and he's also a sorcerer, like almost at the equal of Doctor Strange. So he's in tune with the mystic and the science shit. So if there's anyone who could calculate for this occurrence happening, it's Doctor Doom. So that's a good theory. I just don't know if Marvel has the stones to pull that off, because we're at a place right now where Marvel's catering more towards people who aren't going to follow this stuff as close. So they may not be willing to do that.
Maybe like another, like, just kidding. That's not the man behind the curtain. This is the man behind the curtain.
And then
I think that might be too confusing for people.
Yeah, Marvel is about these billion-dollar movies right now.
I do like how they're getting a little more brave, though. They're getting a little more. I do like that.
I was about to say, let me pop in for a second. They did say, well, Kevin Feige, they being Kevin Feige, like I know I just referenced him like he's like multiple people, but I mean, but no,
he basically is.
Those aren't his pronouns.
But no,
he who remains of the Marvel universe.
I was like, is there something about his pronouns?
I know those his pronouns.
No, at first I said they meaning Marvel, but then I switched to Kevin Feige. He said that there will be like mini arcs, so I do think we're going to get like a level of like, you know, basically like lieutenants before the general, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like there might be a Kang, there might be another like semi big bad, but there's going to be like an overarching big bad, like to like link it all together. So I think this tracks ultimately is what I'm saying. So Doom is like, we know Doom is going to come into play, but it's going to be like some involvement where like it's going to be a path to get to Doom. So yeah, I think this tracks.
Yeah, and like the other thing is like these movies are basically, I mean, these shows are basically what the B-level movies would have been 7-8 years ago. We're not getting those anymore. So now these series are being used, to Court's point, where they can be a little braver because they're not detracting away from the story in any way. You're going to be able to go see
as much as the movies.
Well, they're using movie budgets. They're using movie budgets to do this, which is why the everything can be like of similar quality. But the important thing is Kevin Feige has said you'll be able to go see the movies and follow along without having seen any of the shows. So the shows are just to fill in gaps for everybody else, the people who are interested in the deep dives. So the shows are to fill in the gaps and introduce other B-level properties, which is why we're getting Moon Knight, which is why we're getting Ms. Marvel, which is why we're getting Ironheart, which is why we're ultimately getting the Young Avengers. These shows, so when I say this is to introduce the Young Avengers, they're doing some world building along the way, but ultimately what this is leading to at the end is a Young Avengers TV series or movie. And the next one we get will probably be one of the X teams.
Is the Doctor Strange the first like movie we're gonna get?
Well, that was technically
we're supposed to be.
Which should have came out. It should have came out years ago.
Yes, because
not even last year. Like I'm talking about before. Like
no. This should have been. But now it's like, we got money to play with, so we can. And it's supposed to be getting a sequel, which I don't fucking know why. But
is it a multiverse? Like, is it a variant?
No,
it's gonna be Yelena.
No. It's getting a sequel with Scarlet.
Whoa! What the whoa?
Yeah,
I mean, they just showed you how it could happen at the end of Loki.
I haven't seen it, so it's fine to be spoiled.
They're basically going to give her another adventure before Infinity War.
Oh, when she went to go get them out of prison because they left it.
You're gonna play an Asian American superhero now.
I'm so amazed at Marvel with the Asian representation.
Remember, she can be anything, guys.
A woman of color.
She is the true variant.
Respectfully, no one gives a shit about this character, and I hate to say that because we have so few like female characters in this universe. But that's not.
I mean, of color characters. Get it right, Ron.
Excuse me.
Sometimes a trans man. We don't want to misgender either.
Yeah. Doctor Strange is not coming out till March. The next it's Shang-Chi, Eternals.
That's why that's this fall.
Shang-Chi is September 3rd.
Yeah, Shang-Chi is September. Eternals is November. Spider-Man is December, and then Doctor Strange. And
when is Hawkeye?
Are they all like multiverse themed? Because I know the Ant-Man has a like
quantum
thing. Quantum.
I
really don't.
It's supposed to be this year.
Yeah, Hawkeye's this year.
Do I want to watch Hawkeye?
Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and I can't think of the other one. Are all multiverse themed.
So I have a question too. I have a question. I think I mentioned this to Ryan earlier about when we were talking multiverse. Remember in the scene at the end of WandaVision when she's astral projecting and she's reading the book and she hears her kids? Is that like, I'm wondering if that's the moment at the multiverse breaking and she's able to hear them. And it reminds me of the opening intro that Dee mentioned as far as all the voices in that intro. And I'm like, oh, that's almost the same as like WandaVision in a WandaVision. And then like, oh, that could be the multiverse breaking. Now because of her extended power being a Nexus being, she's able to hear through the multiverse.
Right. Yeah, so for context, this show was supposed to come first. Loki was supposed to be the first one.
I think it's good that it wasn't.
I thought Falcon was supposed to be first.
Well, this was supposed to come before.
But yeah, WandaVision was supposed to be last. WandaVision was supposed to be last going into.
So when she's hearing these voices, she's hearing she's hearing Speed and Wiccan, but in another
Young Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. She's hearing them in another universe.
I feel like it would have made more sense, but in my opinion, this is like the best show out of all of them. I feel like
it would have been very hard to watch WandaVision for me was
especially the start.
It would have been way harder to watch after Loki.
Falcon should have always been first because I think it's more traditional Marvel, and it would have been a good kind of segue into this whole multiverse thing because
it should have been
really
a damn movie. It should have been a movie.
It should have. That was. I think it should because it's set up like a movie.
That much blackety black shit. They ain't hitting $1 billion. So Marvel was like, relegated to a series. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine. I didn't have to see like that many hours of MAGA Man.
Yeah. But the reason is because Black Widow, the end of Black Widow is going to lead directly into Hawkeye.
I need to watch Black Widow.
I saw it.
I mean, you don't need to watch it. You can go.
Courtney, I told you last week. You know,
I want to watch it because.
Well, no, if you want to watch it. I'm just saying
it's on me for not like prioritizing a woman of color led film. I'm sorry.
Some ally you are. But
yeah, right.
I saw it today. I actually enjoyed it. It was a lot of action.
Well, when you go back and watch all the old Avenger movies or all the Captain America movies, I'm like, dang, she was really a good character. And this movie should have came out well before it did. Like
that's what I'm saying. I feel a certain type of way about that people had to beg them.
I'm still of the belief that the original Avengers script with replacing her and Hawkeye with Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne would have been way better for the overall.
Well, Sophia,
that's right, Sophia. That's right. Exactly. Thank you.
Like,
excuse
me.
She's
like, no, we need our female representation.
How you gonna replace an Asian woman with these two white men?
Exactly.
In the Ultimate Universe, which is what the early MCU was based on, Janet Van Dyne is Asian.
Mm-hmm. Well, what she is in MCU canon, white.
because she came later. But she was Asian and a mutant in the Ultimate Universe.
And that's one thing I have to going forward. I have to make sure I separate Marvel Universe and comics in Marvel Cinematic Universe because I'm like, okay, even though that happened in the comics, what is canon? What is canon for MCU?
Just don't stress yourself out.
It's all a clusterfuck now. What's canon don't really matter.
Well, now we have series, so.
Well, that's true. So with that said, the episode, that's it for that. That's it for the series, but we do get a season 2. Now, with that, what were your, like, I guess, for the show as a whole? I know we all everybody agrees that it was great. You liked it. It was good.
Loved.
What
I thought it was great.
What do you expect or what would you like to see going forward with season 2? We'll start with AJ, I guess. No, we won't. Jock, you go first.
All right, let me go tell my mom that AJ's being bullied.
Ladies first.
Oh no, she's tearing up.
Go ahead, Jock.
Go ahead, Jock. Me? Oh, I didn't hear. I don't.
No, stop. She said, "Give me the mic."
We don't need it. Jock, go ahead.
After I just said y'all weren't bullying me, then y'all go and bully me.
So I don't know what I expect. I don't know if we're going to see another appearance of any variant of He Who Remains or Kang. But I don't know if Loki's going to search for Sylvie or Sylvie's going to search for Loki and be like, oh my God, I messed up. Or I guess Renslayer and seeing where she going, because we left the series and didn't know what she was going to go do. Mm-hmm. We saw her talking to.
She's about to go meet the Conqueror.
Where?
She's about to go get conquered.
Well, he's dead.
All the variants. That one is. See you soon. Like you said, see you soon.
See you soon. Yeah. Oh, he say reincarnation, baby. All right, AJ, what you think? Season 2.
I want to see the reincarnation.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really like see. Just wait till y'all are doing the show with the really fun, and I'm coming in here and I'm bringing my.
We're probably gonna talk about them too.
I agree.
No, I'm not saying y'all won't. I'm saying I'm bringing my original Twitter AJ filth back.
Oh Lord,
my original account filth back.
That's when we will bully you.
We're gonna meet you.
That's too much.
Oh, hush, Jock. You used to be bad too. I don't want to hear it.
Used to. Don't be putting my used to.
I used to too.
Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and I am watching.
Listen. You don't want Jesus to have died for nothing.
Right. I did enough that he didn't die. He died for a lot.
My mom's about to come with me. My mom's about to. I just got the mom eye. I'm scared now. I'm scared. Somebody come help me.
On to a different place. So we'll bring it back. JJ.
Watch your mouth.
I don't know what I expected of season 2. Honestly, I ain't. These shows are kind of like the MCU in general is just kind of for me. I just kind of check in to see what's going on and see if I'm right. I ain't really invested. Like after Endgame, my investment in the MCU completely went. Like I read
just one type of hype.
Yeah, I'm wikiing the episode summaries for like like Loki. I did watch, but. Like half of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was Wikipediaing what was happening in the episodes. Half of WandaVision, more than half of WandaVision. I think I watched like 4 episodes of WandaVision. I was wiki in the episode stuff. Like I don't even keep up with comics. I ain't read a comic in I don't know how long. Like MCU and DC, Marvel and DC. I just wiki what's going on. So, I mean, my guess would be Sylvie comes back. She's too good of a character for them not to bring her back.
She is a good character.
Far too profitable of them not to bring her back. It'll probably do some world building. I hope they give it a longer thing to like actually build out a lot of this stuff. But because I mean, it's obviously going to take place in an alternate timeline. It's the big reason they're doing this is because they want to be able to make these shows without it affecting the movies in any way, shape, or form. So Loki's going to be able to go around and do shit that he feels like doing without it having anything to do with the movies, or it can come back and cross into the movies if they want it. So my expectation is Sylvie comes back in a bunch of Loki shenanigans.
Okay.
He reportedly is going to be in Doctor Strange too.
Okay, Ryan, since you're here, go ahead and tell us what you think.
I saw that too, and I frowned, Ryan.
I think it just depends on when the show is coming back, right? Like if season 2 is not till next year, then I don't think. I mean, I think of course we're gonna have the Renslayer plot advanced, and we're gonna figure out sort of where Loki is, what's going on with the TVA now that essentially Kang has conquered it, and we'll probably find out what's going on with Sylvie. But I think the rest of the plot is only going to be more clear once we get through some more phase 4. And we kind of figure out what happens in Quantumania, brother, as well as a few of the other properties too. So I really feel like that's all I can think of.
That's going to be your next username the next time we do an episode.
All I can think of is Hulk Hogan screaming Quantumania. That's all I can think of.
You're ridiculous.
And so in this case is Wanda Macho Man. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes. Courtney, please save us. What do you think?
I think that we're gonna have more. Definitely have Sylvie. I want, and also that we need Alligator Loki, so that sweet figure money. But I wonder if we're gonna see like some of the variant Kangs, just because apparently if there's so many of them, we'll probably have that, and then maybe they're not gonna let any of these characters go. So, but I'm fine, especially with some of them, getting their checks. If I had to choose any of the shows to have a season 2, like, and not even my own personal bias, this one makes the most sense for me because this is the one that you can do so much with. So
I agree.
Can we not try to Apocalypse Alabama again?
Please, we've been through enough.
So they're just like, you know what? We're just tired of Mobile.
It could have been.
Kevin Feige was just like, fuck Mobile. We don't like them.
Should have been Florida. Any part of
it.
Go ahead, Ronnie. What you think?
So yeah, like I think like 2 recaps ago, I said I was missing more of that like TVA world building. So that's what I hope I get from season 2. Like Courtney said, this show, I mean, of course they're gonna do it because it's Marvel, but this show doesn't have to be beholden to like any particular storyline. It could kind of like jump around and do what it wants to now. And I want to see more of that because like those initial episodes, like exploring the TVA, those were really cool. I want to see more of that. So I hope that's what it does because basically Mobius and this Loki have to create a new relationship now because Mobius doesn't know who this Loki is. So yeah, I think they have they can go a lot of different directions. So I'm curious to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I agree. They have a lot of material because they've got hella variants, so they could pick any of them to
go to anywhere in time.
What they do. They've got Renslayer, they've got Mobius, they've got yet to get us on a jet ski. So we've got a lot.
That's right. That's upsetting.
Yeah.
You know what I do want to see though? You know what I do want to see though?
What?
I want to see them go back to 1960s Birmingham and prune Captain America as he is holding a fire hose.
Please,
Ron. But now people are saying, wait, where was Eternus during the Civil Rights Movement? Where?
The same place that Black Panther was.
It's just like I saw that. It's just like
the chocolate thing, nigga. That ain't our problem.
My business.
Well,
that's it, y'all.
That ain't none of my business.
You didn't want to Yeetus Deletus George Wallace?
Nelson Mandela in jail.
Please don't ever say that again. Fetus Deletus.
I didn't say Fetus Deletus this time. I said Yeetus Deletus.
Oh, Yeetus Deletus.
I mean, you could have Fetus Deletus George Wallace. That's true.
Works, yeah.
Well, I mean, except time don't work like that here, so he would still exist.
I would love to test it out, but yeah.
No, I agree with you. I'm saying like it's worth a shot. Like, do we have a splinter universe where George Wallace doesn't exist? Absolutely.
Well, yeah, it's grandfather paradox. If you go back and
my FBI agent's giving me the signal. Let's change the subject. So, thank you guys for watching.
Let me before we close. Let me ask. Because I just want to go around and do this. So hypodermically speaking.
Am I the producer or are you? I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm playing. Go ahead.
Hydronically speaking, let's say that.
Hypoallergically speaking.
Let's say that Nathaniel Richards is the descendant of Reed Richards in this story. Let's quickly fan cast Reed Richards.
Sterling Bryan.
Sterling K. Bryan.
He could. I would say Sterling, but he's already been.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Mahershala.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's not canon anymore. But Mahershala.
Well, Mahershala is Blade, right?
Yeah.
Gemma Chan is also in Captain Marvel, and she's in Eternals.
Chris Evans was also in the Fantastic Four, and now he's
Michael B. Jordan too.
And now he's ignoring the civil rights movement.
Yeah, but those ain't canon. Like I said, I don't think Marvel. I will be shocked if Marvel goes like Marvel broke up the Fantastic Four in the comics because Fox started production on that trash ass movie by Josh Trank right before the rights would have reverted back to Marvel. And Marvel was like, all right, fuck y'all, we ain't selling no merch. We breaking up the fan. They hate those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they hate
all of them.
I don't know about the originals.
Oh,
but I know for a fact they were pissed at Fox about that last one, and they wouldn't sell merch apparently for the first ones either. They wouldn't promote the comic. They would down shit on the comic storylines right beforehand.
This one wasn't so bad. I actually liked the first one.
I enjoyed it.
I like the first one.
Now, Ronnie, the real fan casting here is Dr. Doom, but the best Dr. Doom that we could have got is already here, and he's running around mentoring Spider-Man and fucking Wanda while wearing a goofy ass cape.
Got it off? Feel better?
Would Benedict Cumberbatch not be a perfect Doctor Doom? Someone whose face is covered constantly, but he has to have gravitas with his voice.
Yeah, considering that he was like the fifth choice for Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Like I would have rather them just made Joaquin Phoenix Doctor Strange and say
I'm not being rude,
let
but
Keith David do it.
He's one of the ones that broke the standard that everyone that is a Marvel superhero is fine as hell. He broke that.
Oh well, nah, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I'll take my nodding back. Never mind. I thought you were saying like the good casting standard because he was
okay, yeah, they had a good they did actually have a good casting standard of like let's hire nobodies. That was great, and now it's let's hire Asian American women. Not really for.
And we got fucking Awkwafina's black scent having ass in a fuck. I refuse to pay any money to Shang-Chi because
she's in the Little Mermaid too. That just I was like, why? Whatever.
I mean, I want to see Shang-Chi.
She's gonna be the Little Mermaid. I saw Halle Bailey tag her. I'm like, she's gonna be in it.
What? Please tell me they have Awkwafina doing Sebastian the Crab.
Is she Sebastian?
Yeah. Like, please tell me.
They didn't even get like a real drag queen to be Ursula, like who's an actual drag queen.
She gotta be Sebastian. Who else could she be? She gotta be Sebastian.
If Awkwafina is Sebastian.
Oh no, she's a seagull. She's a seagull, I think.
Okay.
Let me see.
If she was Sebastian, I would have taken my mic off of its apparatus and dropped it.
Please don't. Focus. Back. Anybody have any lasting comments? Anything? Any last words?
That's great. Is it going to be? No. Okay. I thought.
Baby. If your theories should revolve around which Young Avengers characters, because we got them all cast except for Hulkling, and he's going to show up in She-Hulk. Young Avengers, baby.
Who do we think?
That's it. That's all I got.
Whatever that kid, who that kid, one of them kids from Stranger Things. There we go.
Probably.
Any of them.
Either one. You don't care, just one of them.
Black kid is David
talented.
McLaughlin, and I know that because he has my same last name.
Wait, what are we talking about?
The black kid from Stranger Things, his last name is McLaughlin. It's like David McLaughlin.
What is he doing? Wait, what is he doing?
I don't know. I don't care what any of them are doing.
We're just saying who'd be cast.
Oh, for Hulkling?
Yes. They might be old now.
Hulkling is white and also in the comics. I don't know if they're going to do this, but he is one of Wanda's son's boyfriend.
Well, they can be black. Shoot.
Well, he's a Skrull, so I'm saying they typically don't go outside of casting with those roles.
You ain't with the swirl, Umar?
No, I'm saying they don't go out of casting with those roles. If it's a white male in the comics, they're going to make it a white gay male in the show. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't. I'm saying
listen, we can only make it one type of minority, and it's our
exactly that.
And they're already like, listen, we're gonna add more LGBT characters. They're gonna do that.
Also, random. Did y'all know that there was a clause in Sony's Spider-Man contract that Peter Parker has to be white, straight, and male?
I believe it.
No.
That is why Donald Glover could not ever be cast as Spider-Man when Community was on, and that's how Miles Morales ended up getting it.
I don't know if I would ever want Donald Glover to be Spider-Man. So.
Oh no, I wouldn't either. It would be terrible.
The world is a better place for him being Troy.
Like, I'm okay with that clause if it keeps him from being Spider-Man.
I want to add that this thing that Loki did with the multiverse is probably second only to Community's Darkest Timeline. Just want to put that out there.
Oh man, that was good.
Magnificent. Was good. Darkest Timeline. This is it. Number 2.
Community. Russo brothers.
It is.
Time is a full circle.
It all works together. And speaking of time, we are out of it. So thank you for being here. Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You did a wonderful job. So happy
come back.
Thanks for coming. Come back.
Yeah, my WandaVision shirt from.
There you go.
And Jock, now you understand why Courtney's mom asked when I'm not on. Because I can see this shit entertaining, baby.
Mom, do you want to say goodbye to everyone?
I mean, we entertain without you.
My mom wants to say goodbye to everyone.
Okay.
All right. Sophia's not there.
Y'all sit up and wait.
Good night. I'm glad everybody behaved.
Yeah, we behaved.
We did. We always behave.
Love everybody.
Love you.
Love you too.
Y'all do not behave, D.
Not only do we love her, we love you. The people who support us, please visit thekidswearcrowns.com. You can follow us on Twitter at the KWC blog. Y'all want to plug Twitter or Facebook or any other social media? Go for it now.
All my stuff's private, so I don't want y'all following me.
Don't follow AJ. Who else?
Follow us on TikTok.
Don't follow me either.
Follow us on TikTok. What is it, Ryan?
The Kids Wear Crowns. Follow us on Twitch. The Kids Wear Crowns.
Ryan, if I go see you doing a dance on TikTok,
I'm not doing a dance. I am posting clips from our shows.
What's your social?
Dance.
Virgo, the letter J, 24.
For King Griffey Jr.
Exactly.
Ronnie don't tweet enough. You gotta follow him, but he there.
Follow me.
We'll keep y'all abreast of everything we're gonna do. This won't be the last you see of us because we love talking. It's just
we love our voices. We love the sound of our own voices. That's right.
We don't know yet. We'll figure it out and we'll let you know, and then we'll let the people know. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for rocking with us, y'all. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.
One.
Oh my God.